Hey, what's up guys? So any old soul and or major horror fan would agree that one of the most iconic chapters in horror history is the Universal Monsters. This introduced the world to characters that were first brought to us in literature and made them cinematic icons with a lineup that would give Marvel a run for their money. No disrespect to Marvel considering how they gave 4 of these characters their own comic book storyline, but anyway, this lineup is no exception. Frankenstein, Dracula, the Mummy, the Wolfman, the Creature from the Black Lagoon, the Bride of Frankenstein, and the Invisible Man. So in recent years, there have been about 2 attempts to reinvigorate the Universal Monsters and bring them back into cinematic pop culture, and both have failed miserably, with them trying to turn Dracula into a superhero and them trying to pass off the Mummy as sort of like an action-adventure flick. Which, the problem is, if you're doing a cinematic universe of the Universal Monsters, why not have it be a horror theme? A horror cinematic universe is something that's barely even done anymore, with the exception of the Stephen King movies and of course the Conjuring series. And now is the best time to do it, especially with a lot of up-and-coming independent horror film directors and so on and so forth. Now, here is how I would do a cinematic universe of the Universal Monsters. My personal pitch, if you will. And definitely something I would recommend is if they would join forces with a studio like Blumhouse. Because Blumhouse is an absolute juggernaut of horror right now, giving us such gems as Get Out, Us, The Purge, the Conjuring movies. Hell, they even restored the Halloween franchise. And the greatest thing about Blumhouse is that they film all their movies for pocket change. So I would make them low budget horror films. You see, horror works better when you have low budget because it allows the creative minds to create a great story and give us complex characters and some also really good scares. No one came out of the original Mummy saying, you know what I loved about that? The explosion. No one left the original Frankenstein saying, you know what was my favorite part about that? The car chase. They left these movies saying, wow, that was scary. Monsters. So, even though I initially think that horror tends to work best with a cast of unknown actors, I also have my personal star cast of who I would pick if I had to pick big names to fill these iconic roles. Because for me, the stars of these films should be the monsters or the creative team making these movies. I don't want to go to the Mummy to see Tom Cruise. I want to go to the Mummy to see the Mummy. So, buckle up, guys. What I have in mind, it may surprise you. It may ignite conversation and get your creative juices flowing. It may even horrify you. So if you feel that you do not want to submit yourself to such a strain, I've warned you.